Hey everybody, what's up? I thought I'd kind of talk a little bit about some wrestling going on around this past week. A lot of news. Surprisingly, in WWE, some fans had mixed reactions to Raw and as of tonight, SmackDown. And it's no surprise. I mean, one, it's like I said before. I mentioned in another video. I mentioned several videos ago, that the reason they're doing the Big Show John Cena deal is because they pretty much feel, and they do have a right to believe this and feel this, that it does get people's attention and gets people invested in that rivalry restarting and being refreshed with a different storyline and angle to work around. The But overall, it's kind of been like a mixed bag, and honestly, it's like I've said before. I think WWE is putting a lot of the money, a lot of their, you know, just a lot of focus right now into that 3-hour Raw that they're going to be starting up in July. I mean, yeah, they got No Way Out coming up, and it seems they got several matches lined up for that. I mean, they got 3 matches as far as we know. Those matches, of course, being the world title between Sheamus and Del Rio, the triple threat we found out about tonight between Kane, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk, and of course John Cena and Big Show inside a steel cage. Now, apparently the news about Big Show, speaking of Big Show, apparently his heel run, if you will, is supposed to be going for the next few months. I think it's a summer deal with Big Show. I could be wrong. But apparently he is reportedly, right now, according to several sources, reportedly the next person in line, well, not the next person, but reportedly one of the next few people in line to face CM Punk for the WWE Championship. So it kind of gives you an idea that they're going to keep the title on Punk at least until around SummerSlam. Now, you might say to yourself, well, okay, that sounds okay. Now some of you might like that idea of doing Big Show and Punk, but if you take a look at the SummerSlam history, last time Punk and Big Show faced each other, it was a 3-on-1 handicap match, and Big Show won. Now that was when the roles were reversed, and you had Big Show as a face, Punk as the heel, and the leader of the Straight Edge Society. So that's when the roles were reversed. Now, the roles are reversed in the fact that Punk's the face, Big Show's the heel. Now, you might say to yourself, well, why would Big Show be like the next in line to face Punk, or at least one of the next in line? Well, you got to realize this. John Cena, we know is probably not going to take a break. I mean, if he takes a break after No Way Out, then hey, that'll be a surprise. But right now, I think, because if you look at the schedule they have, according to reports, they got John Cena not just on Raw, but they got him on the Smackdown stuff as well because of what happened with Randy Orton. And in case you don't know, apparently for his second violation that basically his second violation of the wellness policy, he has been suspended for 60 days. Now that is a surprise considering he's one of the top baby faces, one of the top franchise players in the company. But I don't know. I mean, obviously he'll be back in time for SummerSlam, so that in itself hurts WWE right now. But honestly, I don't think Randy's going to be gone that long. I think something's going to happen. I'm not saying what, but I got a feeling it's going to end a lot sooner. Maybe a week before the 60 days are officially up, we'll see Randy Orton back. I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't know what he got busted for. Maybe some of you do. But if he really wasn't busted for anything, then my only thing is, maybe someone saw him drinking something and they said, okay, violation of wellness policy. Oh, and by the way, it gets him off television for a while because his person he's feuding with, Jericho's off television, so we can get them both off television. I don't know. But yeah, so that kind of hurts them in the long run right there when it comes to star power. So that's why John Cena's not going to be taking a break for much longer. I mean, not take a break for some time. And I don't think he has a problem with that. I don't think John has a problem with that. Just because it got Big Show reportedly, it's reported right now that Big Show's going to face CM Punk at SummerSlam. Now, if it's reported that Big Show is supposed to face Punk at SummerSlam, I know there's going to be a lot of people speculating right now is exactly will Punk retain? Because if it's being reported right now that Big Show is supposed to face Punk, then obviously it's being reported that Punk is scheduled to keep the championship up until at least SummerSlam. Now I know some people when they hear the news reportedly of Punk facing Big Show for the title, people I know right now are probably thinking, oh God, please don't tell us Big Show's gonna win and then he'll probably lose it to John Cena. With WWE, you never know. And if it's for ratings, especially with the 3-hour Raws and all that, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know. We thought that before. We thought that before when Punk faced several opponents. Didn't happen. So now, let's just see what happens in the next few months. I mean, right now, it's being reported, but that could all change. That could all change. But yeah, I think one of the things that's killing WWE right now is, I believe, in my honest opinion, that they're lacking the star power they need. Triple H isn't there all the time. Brock's gone, and he's only there for Brock's out of the picture right now because he's got this selective amount of dates. Taker, honestly, I'm just going to be honest. Somebody asked me this question in a comment. I think Taker's just going to do maybe once or twice a year, and that's it. Because he's getting to that point in his career where it's like he's 20-0 at WrestleMania. He really doesn't have that much to prove anymore. So that's why I think that's why they're kind of falling right now. They're lacking the star power, and also it's the fact that they're reinventing, they're revigorating rivalries and stuff that people have seen not that long ago, just so they can try to get people's attention or interest in the product. But again, I think it's because they're putting more focus right now on trying to get that 3-hour Raw off the ground, because they know they need to do good for that first 3-hour Raw, which supposedly is supposed to be a permanent thing now, starting July 23rd. They want to try their best to get that off the ground and get people talking and enjoying. So I think that's why they're lacking in what they're doing with Raw and Smackdown right now, and even sometimes the pay-per-views. Well, the pay-per-views are exceptions. Just when you think it's not good, it turns out good. But that's the thing. The primary focus is the pay-per-views, as well as the primary focus is try to get this 3-hour Raw thing going, up and going, so that you got people watching and talking and everything. I'm sure they don't like the fact that they got these dismal ratings. And you know what? It's a lot of factors if you think about it. One, like I said, you don't got your talent roster's kind of like flippity-floppity right now. You got a guy in charge that no one really cares about, and they want him gone. And I'm sure as heck to tell you right now that if these ratings keep going plummeting into the ground, they're going to get rid of Laurinaitis soon. I'm pretty sure with the interactive stuff they got planned for Raw when it's 3 hours, that's going to be the signal that Laurinaitis is out. But again, I think it's just due to the fact it's a lot of factors, and they're primarily putting the focus on, trying to get the pay-per-views going, as well as try to get the 3-hour Raw up and running when it happens. Because they're going to need to really work on that for the next month. I said in my audio video, that what they're going to need to do is plan months in advance for a whole month of Raw. Let's say June right now. We're in June right now. They need to start planning now for July 20. Well, maybe not now, but they should at least, after No Way Out, start planning for July 23rd and beyond that. You know, but don't take your focus off your flagship show and what needs to be done. I mean, yeah, you can have some great matches and all that, but if it's the same thing people have seen over and over again, and especially it's during the summer. The summer, seriously, no wonder people take the remotes and go click. I mean, I love Monday Night Raw. I've said it before. I love it. I like watching it. But you need to stop making it look like it's an average B-rated show. It's not Thunder of WCW. All right? You know, it's not WCW Thunder, all right? It's Monday Night Raw. You don't want to have it go tank like Nitro did. I don't think it will, but you want to pick up the ratings. You want to get those ratings up? You need to start focusing on that night. You need to say, okay, we know we need to fix things. And the list is obvious. Laurinaitis, here's a few things you need to fix, even before you get to 3 hours. Laurinaitis, gotta go. Big Show, Cena rivalry, get it over and done with, out the window. Big Show heel turn, only for the Big Show heel turn, honest opinion, have it end after SummerSlam, move forward. Brock Lesnar deal, bring him back, try to see if he'll work more than just a few days, just the dates that he has. As well as give all these other guys that I said in my audio video, the mid to up lower card guys, and even the mid to lower main event guys, opportunities. Let them shine. Let the storylines shine. Let them prove themselves in the ring. Give them opportunities. Build your divisions so that when you get to 3 hours, and even after the summer's done, people will enjoy both Raw and SmackDown. As well as your NXT FCW show as soon as you get it officially aired and stuff. And that's another thing too that they're going to have to work on. You're doing this FCW deal with NXT. You got Tyson on there. You got McGillicuddy. You got Gabriel. Well, as of this past week you did. You know, these are guys that have already done NXT. Tyson Kidd doesn't even have to be on NXT. Tyson Kidd, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Michael McGillicuddy, JTG. You know, these are guys who do not need to be on NXT. Johnny Curtis doesn't need to be on NXT. Alright? Yoshitatsu does not need to be on NXT. Alright? What you need to do is make sure these guys are not on NXT. Okay? You need to make NXT, hopefully, after these first few tapings, you need to make NXT, hopefully, the show for the FCW men and women to shine in, while all these other people that you've had on there can go and finally shine on Raw and SmackDown, hopefully, with that additional hour on Raw. That's what you need to do. And you know, for anybody that's wondering, you know, okay, now for anybody that's wondering why Big Show, I forgot to mention this earlier, but for anybody that's wondering why Big Show is in the situation he is now, well, it seems WWE Creative is realizing that they dropped the ball on Tenzai. Yeah. Apparently he doesn't have the helmet anymore, he doesn't have the robe, he's not even Lord Tenzai anymore. He's just Tenzai. I think they're realizing, just by hearing what the fans are saying and chanting, nobody takes him seriously because they know who he is. It hasn't, I mean, look, when was the last time we saw him? 2005? 2004? What, 8 years? All they have to do is go on YouTube. All they have to do is go to rewatch the VHS or DVD recordings or whatever, and they will see Tenzai as A-Train Albert. They will see that. To them, that To them, that is nothing. To them, well, it's not nothing, but to them, seeing him like that, it's not. He doesn't look different. That's all I'm saying. That's why you see him now regulated to superstars, because they drop the ball. But again, you need to take guys like, well, not just Tensei, but you need to take guys like everybody I mentioned on NXT. Let them shine on superstars. Let them shine on Raw and SmackDown. That's what you need to do. And speaking of wrestling, let's talk about TNA. Last night TNA, or I should say 2 nights ago, TNA had the first live broadcast on Thursday nights. Well, it's not the first live broadcast, but not the first live broadcast, because they had one back in 2004 when they teamed up with Best Damn Sports Show. But anyway, they had the first live broadcast, and it got a fairly mixed reaction as well. One of the top things coming out of that, two of the top things coming out, well, three top things coming out of that, if you will. Well, one is that we found out that Sting and Bobby Roode will face each other again at Slammiversary, this time for the TNA Championship. Two, we finally see the TNA debut of Brooke Hogan, who some people joked about, said looked more like Linda Hogan than Brooke. Brooke looks like Brooke. But we see her finally get introduced as the new executive in charge of the Knockouts, which some people, like the Schleg Daddy, Jeff Schlegel, are afraid is going to take away from the actual Knockouts. Well, we'll see what happens. It looks like that may come true because it seems they might start something with Brooke and Madison. We'll see. Apparently we did get another match signed for Slammiversary off camera, or off the show. We found out that Samoa Joe will face Austin Aries in a non-title match. That might be good. We found out that Devon and Garrett will face Robbie E and Robbie T. So that's interesting. And I think we got the tag title match situated and everything. So far it looks okay for the TNA Slammiversary card. But speaking of Slammiversary, before Dixie brought out Brooke, she made the announcement that at TNA, at Slammiversary, TNA will introduce, the TNA will introduce who's the TNA Hall of Fame. Basically, Slammiversary, the 10th anniversary, will be the start of the TNA Hall of Fame, and at Slammiversary, they will announce the first inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame. Now, a lot of people are speculating as to who it could be. Pretty much everybody's bet right now is on Jeff Jarrett being the first inductee. Now, everybody, like I said, everybody's pretty much banking on on him being the first inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame, which, when you take a look what he's done for the company, whether you like the guy or not, would be well deserved. Except, there are other people there as well. Other people that have passed through TNA, and that's what it said. When I read the PWI Torch app and the news report on it, that it was to recognize the contributions that people had made in TNA in the past 10 years. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be Jeff, if you know what I mean. It could be anybody. I mean, we could have, Dusty Rhodes could be inducted. Even though he works for WWE, he could be one of those situations where WWE, in exchange for having Flair at their Hall of Fame ceremony, and at WrestleMania, could have Dusty go to TNA and be part of that. You could have them induct Randy Savage, which would be sort of like a shot to WWE, saying, hey, look, you guys never inducted Randy yet, look what we've done. So that could be good. They can induct, again, with the deal they have with WWE, despite the fact that right now they're sort of in a lawsuit with them. But the contracted deal because of Ric Flair going to the Hall of Fame back in April in WWE. Another person they could induct could be Kevin Nash. You know, that would be interesting. Like I said, Kevin Nash could be one of them. You know, Steve Breach talked about possibly Christian, but Christian right now is the current Intercontinental Champion. How's that going to work? So, you know, that's one. Sting, believe it or not, could be his inductee, even though he'd be getting the shot at the title that night. You know, Kurt Angle maybe. Who knows? Ricky Steamboat. Like again, like I said, it could be one of those situations where, in exchange for Ric Flair going to WWE for the Hall of Fame, even though he was under TNA contract at the time, they could send Ricky Steamboat to TNA, then him be inducted. You could have Harley Race maybe. Jerry Lynn. There's somebody you wouldn't expect. Who else? Dory Funk Jr. You know, the Road Warriors. They were there. You know, that could be something. You know, again, the list is endless. You know, as to who it could be. But right now, everybody's pretty much banking on it being Jeff Jarrett. But then again, also think about this. Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Think about it that way. What better way to get attention for your Hall of Fame, for your inaugural Hall of Fame, or for the first year of your inaugural year of your Hall of Fame, of your company's Hall of Fame, than to induct the biggest name ever in wrestling, in sports entertainment, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, think about that. He may have not been around TNA that much for that long, but think about it. You can get a lot of acknowledgement with him being your first inductee in your in your Hall of Fame's inaugural year. I mean, he even competed in the ring about once or twice or three times for TNA. He was even considering TNA back in the early to mid 2000s. So there you go. That could be something. That could be a big one, and that would gain you a lot of credibility, because what you'd be doing is you would be allowing Hulk Hogan to be the first professional wrestler ever to be a Hall of Famer in the two biggest wrestling companies in the world. The two current biggest wrestling companies in the world, WWE and TNA. So think about that. And again, you know, the list goes on as to who else could be, you know, inducted into the Hall of Fame. But again, the money obviously a lot of people have on right now. The money, the person I should say that everybody has the money on is Jeff Jarrett. So, I mean, even though Jeff's currently still wrestling down in Rock King and is probably expected to be back by Slammiversary, you know, everybody's pretty much banking on it being him. Now, Jeff Schlegel, the Schleg Daddy, doesn't like the idea. And I'm pretty sure there's other people that agree with him. But the reason is, for him, because if you haven't watched his TNA reviews, or his reviews of TNA Impact, or the TNA pay-per-views, where he's basically come out and literally, when Jeff Jarrett would appear, I mean, a few weeks ago he did this, you know, a few weeks ago he did this when they showed highlights of Jeff Jarrett from Slammiversary a few years back. You know, who does not watch Off the Ropes show and watch his TNA reviews and enjoy seeing him get into the Jeff Jarrett position? Do you think he wants to get into that position at Slammiversary while watching Slammiversary? Do you think honestly he's gonna like to have to deal with the fact that he's gonna have the worst taste in his mouth, knowing the possibility that he's going to have to call Jeff Jarrett a Hall of Famer? He's not going to like it. He's not going to like it. He's not going to like the fact that he's going to have to call Jeff Jarrett a Hall of Famer. He's not going to like it. So honestly, folks, you know, Jeff Shego, the Shred Guy, is just one of many probably that don't like the idea of the fact that they may have to start referring to Jeff Jarrett as the Hall of Famer. But you know what? Being a fan of the Off the Rope show, and the way I've defended them in the situation with the Wrestling Jesus, I'll say this. You can't blame Jeff whether his hatred for Jeff Jarrett is a work or it's legit. It looks more legit sometimes. But you can't blame him for feeling that way. You can't blame him. And if that does happen, if everybody hits the jackpot in guessing that Jeff Jarrett's going to be the first inductee to the Hall of Fame, TNA Hall of Fame, then he's going to probably be the first to, I guarantee you, he'll be the first to come out and say that TNA's Hall of Fame's a sham, that it's worthless, and that WWE's has more prestige. But again, we're just going to have to wait. Like I said, right now, people banking on the Hall of Fame inductee being Jeff Jarrett, but again, the names I've listed, you know, you never know. And like I said, you know, you could have Hulk Hogan be the first inductee, and again, that would definitely give your company a lot of notoriety and a lot of attention for your Hall of Fame in its inaugural year. But overall, that's just my thoughts on things going on in wrestling, WWE and TNA wise. I don't got much to go on with, with Ring of Honor. You know, I gotta watch the product first. I gotta watch the show first. But it looks like they're gonna be leaning towards Davey Richards and Kevin Steen too. Probably at the next IP pay-per-view. So all I could say is that's just my thoughts, and comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with my thoughts? Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you think. Comment, video response if you like. In fact, I'll even say this: British Fist, Off the Rope Show, Raw Rebound, MJ Knight, Phoenix Night Group, Wrestling Gurus, anybody? I would like to know your guys' response to my video. Do a video response if you like. Let me know what you guys commentate on it. Comment on what you think. Do you guys agree? And that's all I'm going to say. You all have a good night.